So you want to be a registered dietitian? You are in the right place. My name is Jenny Westerkamp, founder of All Access Dietetics, and your host for Dear Future Dietitian, a podcast dedicated to helping you feel more confident in every step of your journey towards that RD credential. Thank you for being here and taking the time to listen to this episode and investing in yourself and your future career. I can already tell you're going to be a rockstar dietitian. Now let's get into it. Hi, everyone. This is Jenny. I am here with Kat, one of the co-founders of Flourish Virtual Assistants, which is a 100% remote premium assistant service for private practice dietitians. They're a growing team with 7 dietetic interns, students, and registered dietitians. They offer a wide variety of services targeted at helping dietitians with the tasks that they don't want to do, don't have time to do, or just aren't good at. I'm very excited to have Kat on today because we are going to be talking about how RD2Bs can make money as VAs and how to really improve their business skills along the way. So Kat, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Jenny. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, me too. So we actually connected, this was maybe a year or so ago when you were you had an internship with Barbara Mayfield, who had this sort of like nutrition communications book and then this podcast, and she had you interview me for her podcast.
Yeah, which is so funny.
Yes, I know. And I just kept in touch. I was like, okay, I gotta remember Kat. I know she's going to be doing cool things. I can kind of tell, just like meeting so many future dietitians. I'm like, some of them with the entrepreneurial spirit that you have, I'm like, oh, I really feel like you're going to do good stuff. So, and then you did, and you started this company. So why don't you just give me your quick background, where you're at in your education and all that?
Yeah, so I actually just graduated with my bachelor's degree in Nutrition and Dietetics, really exciting, at the end of April. And I got matched to Wellness Workdays dietetic internship. So I will be an intern there this fall. And I hope to be taking my RD exam probably this time next year, which is super exciting. I went to Western Michigan University for college. And before that, I kind of have a background in design and art. So I did that for a few years before. And then I got into dietetics. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And you really, with your interest in communication and art, that was really what kind of got you to get interested in VA work, right?
Yeah. So I always loved design. I was the editor of my school newspaper in high school, and I loved designing the pages. And so I was trying to find a way to combine design and creativity and art with nutrition. And so I found virtual assisting, and it all ended up working out. So
that's great. So that'll segue kind of into our first question, because there might be students listening or future dietitians or new dietitians that don't know what a VA is or never even knew that it existed. So can you describe kind of what a virtual assistant is for those that don't know?
Yeah. So the best way I like to describe it is to think of a personal assistant or an executive assistant, but virtually. So 100% remote. And you are basically helping a business or maybe just a singular person, and you're their assistant, you're their go-to. I kind of describe it as almost like an umbrella term because there's so much you can do under the term virtual assistant. So between admin tasks, blog writing, there's so many different services that you can get into. I don't know if you want me to maybe go into a few of the services, but
yeah, you can do that now just to give people a little bit more a picture of what it's like.
Yeah. So when you're a virtual assistant for dietitians, it's typically private practice dietitians, although sometimes outpatient dietitians might just want a social media presence. So they might come to you as well. But I would say you're mostly doing back-end work of content creation, group course creation, patient handouts, a lot of social media management. And then there's all the way through blog writing, SEO, and admin tasks. So that might be scheduling, patient onboarding, really a variety of tasks. As long as it's virtual, you can pretty much do it. So,
in my experience with a VA, so when I was starting All Access Dietetics, and I was 21 at the time, for those that don't know that, but I worked it and did everything up until maybe 3 years in, and my first hire was a virtual assistant. Mm-hmm. So this RD2BE named Meredith. Hi, Meredith Johnson, if she's listening.
Love that.
But she was amazing in that she really helped with we had coaching clients at the time, and she was emailing them, connecting them with coaches, mm-hmm. and she was helping with some things on social media, and just really taking a lot of like little projects off my plate so I could focus on bigger things. And that's really what makes it so valuable, like to have a VA. And then especially in this world of everything is remote or online anyways, it works really well because then you have so many more customers or potential like clients besides just the ones that are in your geographical area.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so why do you think it makes sense then for a future dietitian to do this or to like be a VA or even a dietitian to be a VA?
Yeah, so I think that it's a really great job because it allows you to stay within the dietetics field. So you're really working directly with nutrition, research, nutrition, communication, but at the same time, you're getting to work from home. And it's just such flexible hours. So I think it really differs from that typical, maybe like hospital, diet tech job, which obviously those are great in their own ways, but this is another way to stay in the dietetics field, work under dietitians, but you're just doing it from home and you're doing it maybe just different types of jobs. So a little bit more creative, maybe a little bit more with marketing. And so I think it's just such a great experience for somebody who maybe wants to make money during their internship or wants to just help pay for schooling on the side, or even a dietitian who maybe took like a career gap and is just looking for something a little bit different in the field. I think it can be a great opportunity for just somebody who wants to use nutrition communication knowledge in a different way. And also for RD2Bs, it's such great experience for DICAs and for your resume because you're working directly one-on-one with dietitians. You're really getting that knowledge of what a dietitian does on a daily basis, how they work with patients. And so I think as a student, it's really such a great way to build your network, build on your nutrition knowledge, and get some of those experiences that you just don't always get in undergrad. At least with my undergrad degree, we didn't really have a lot of marketing. We didn't really learn a lot of social media. We didn't get a lot of that experience. So I think being a VA, I got so much more of that experience than I would have if I, would have just done what they showed me in undergrad. So I think from that standpoint, it's such a great opportunity for just anyone looking for an unconventional route in dietetics. There's so much room there. So yeah.
Awesome. That really sums it up. And especially with the idea of the experience, the real world application, like you maybe have even had a class in nutrition communications, but to actually do it in the real world. Yeah. And then knowing too that you are essentially doing things that a dietitian would do if they didn't have a VA. So if they weren't giving you these projects, they would be doing them themselves. And those are the skills that you need as a dietitian. And then even not only with like the experience, but like the connections to maybe a job in the future, having that on your resume, even as a student, maybe 5 years from now, as you go into your career, like 5 years from now, they will look back and maybe see, oh, you had that experience. Like that could help you with another job, like even that far in the future. So yeah, racking that up is really helpful. And it also, I know some students who will work for a private practice dietitian thinking they want to do it and then realize it's actually not for them. So it can work both ways, which is great because you want to find what you like and not like and do that. So let's go to the next thing. So I want to kind of hear about what your first experience was VAing. Like, what did that look like?
Okay, yeah. So there's kind of two. So there's my first experience maybe doing similar VA work, but I was actually an intern. So that was kind of how I got started in all this. I just found somebody that I could volunteer with to do their social media, help them with blog writing. And it was a dietitian who she just needed some help with her Instagram. And that was kind of my first foot in the door, but I was doing it all for free. I was just kind of helping her out. And I realized it was something I really liked doing. I realized that I loved that I could do it from home and I was pretty good at it. So I was like, hey, this might be something here. And it's actually kind of funny. I was reaching out. Knew I wanted to do a distance program and I started reaching out to potential preceptors, and somebody I reached out to actually asked me, was like, hey, I'm actually looking for some help sooner. I was thinking of hiring a VA. Is this something you do? And at the time I had kind of thought about being a VA. I knew I had some of the skills, but I wasn't really sure, how to get started. And when she said that, I was like, you know what, let me just go for it. And I was like, hey, I've never been a VA before, but it's something that I'm really interested in. Do you want to meet and talk about this? And it was so cool that we ended up meeting. And she was kind of our first Flourish client, which was really amazing. She's actually local to my hometown too, which was a great opportunity. So it kind of just goes to show even those connections you don't think could turn into something, even just like a preceptor ended up turning into it. So I thought that was kind of a cool way to get involved with it.
Yes. And even if you're not doing distance internships, you know, if people listening, like to be able to just reach out to dietitians and pitch yourself, that is something that just putting yourself out there, you just never know if it's not them, maybe they knew someone or know someone that would need your help. So it's always good to put yourself out there. Now, when you were getting into it initially, were there any lessons, aha moments that kind of came up for you?
Yeah, I definitely would say I never realized how being an assistant, you really have to stay organized. It's such a position that involves you're not only doing a business on your own, being a VA, but you're helping all these other clients potentially with their business. And so I think it can be just a lot of due dates and deadlines and just a lot of organization involved because you kind of have to stay organized for your dietitian. It's just something I learned, like they're so busy, they're on the go. So they might not always have very streamlined processes. And as their assistant, that's something they a little bit expect from you to kind of have a process and a way of being organized with it. So I think that was something I learned pretty initially, was just that I had to like take really great notes at meetings. I had to make sure I had a planner, like specifically for my VA clients, where I could be writing down times that things were due, scheduling, that sort of thing. So I feel like that was a really big lesson I learned right off bat, as well as learning what services I did and didn't like to do. I feel like when you go into it, you just don't know. You're like, oh, I want to say yes to every service that comes my way. Like I want to say yes to everybody. And then you start getting clients and you're like, wow, like this maybe doesn't really align with what I want to do, or I don't really resonate with this. And so I think going into it, that was something I kind of wish off bat. Maybe I would have took a little time to like get to know, or to really figure out the types of dietitians I want to help, or the types of services I wanted to do, because I felt like along the way, I started saying yes to people where I was like, oh, maybe this isn't a good fit. And so I definitely think that was something I learned a few months into it, that not everyone's going to be for you, but that's okay, because there's, you know, abundance out there, I like to say, and you'll find the people that are meant for you. So I would just say, you know, take the time to really think about it, and you don't have to jump at every opportunity. Like if you sit back, what's meant for you will come to you. So I would definitely say that's something I had to learn along the way too.
That is a classic entrepreneur like experience, because it's just going to be messy at first, but as long as you're aware of it, right? And that you're reflecting and that you're asking yourself those questions, that's really the magic of that all. And I don't think you can really avoid the, ooh, I didn't like that, or ooh, that didn't go like how I thought it would. But as long as you're just powering through it and then adapting as you go, I think that's really great. That reminds me too, like I had done something similar, like in my internship, where I reached out to dietitians. I was very into social media at the time, and to date myself, this is like 2009, and Twitter had just, you know, exploded. So
yeah.
To give you it's a different time back then, but it was that. And then like Facebook pages for business just started. Mm-hmm. And these dietitians didn't know, like those are the two big things. Whereas I'm sure now is maybe like Instagram Reels or TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
But there was this sense of, you know, expectation around what I was doing for them. And when you were saying like, you have to be organized, you have to be on top of it, like they're your client, like they're ideally paying you. And we might talk about that, but like you should be paid for this, of course, maybe not your first one to get that experience, but you know, they're paying you. And so there is a higher level of expectations there, and that you have to do. And I think that's important, because I do know dietitians that have said, you know, students have tried to be my VA, and it just felt like I was hand-holding them, that I really had to tell them every single thing to do. And that became more work. So when you are thinking about going into this, like you do want to be train yourself, learn things, like teach yourself things, and be that kind of authority that knows what they're doing and serve your client. I think that's very, very important. And that, you know, so I guess like for you going through that, obviously experience helps you, but how else did you improve yourself or teach yourself things as you went and kept going?
Yeah. I mean, to even touch on your point, I think listening to client feedback is so, so important. And I think this is something maybe some VAs or student might get wrong, is that especially when you're first being a VA for someone, you're learning their brand voice, you're learning their business, and that's going to be different for everybody. And especially a lot of times as a VA, like I'm talking as the client in a lot of situations, and that's a big deal. Like people are very protective of themselves and how they're putting themselves out there. And so really listening to what your client has to say. I mean, a lot of times they've been doing business for so many more years than we have as students. And so, they might say, hey, like, I think does better messaging marketing wise, or I think this does a little better on Instagram. And, even though I'm a VA and I have experience, like I'm still going to listen to what they have to say and take that in mind. And so I think that's a really big thing. Is a lot of stuff I've learned is even just from clients telling me like, sending me resources or telling me, hey, this is what I've learned. This is how I would do it. This is the verbiage I like to use. So I would say definitely being open to constructive criticism. And that was one thing with Flourish where clients are like, wow, you guys are so open to feedback. We love how we can give you feedback. And so I think that was definitely something I would say is just, listening to them, knowing that it's in your best interest, that they're not, saying it in any negative way. They're just saying it to make you better. So I would definitely say that was one main way. And honestly, being a VA, it's a lot of self-teaching. I think I really went to audiobooks. So I would download Audible on my phone. And when I was like driving 45 minutes to campus, I would be listening to like SEO courses, and I would be listening to audiobooks about email marketing. And I was just taking like any second I could to just listen and gain knowledge about all these services that I wanted to offer. I even did like a 6-month blogging mentorship just to really get my skills down. And so I would say, don't be afraid to find resources. They don't have to be expensive. I don't think I ever spent more than like $15-20 on a resource. I know there's some more comprehensive ones that are probably worth the money, but I would just say like dip your toes into whatever you can. Don't be afraid to go on YouTube tutorials, Audible, like I said, even your local library. Like I think there are so many, resources out there for each service, and you might have to dig a little deeper into each service. But I think that would just be the main way I kind of learned, as well as just reaching out to my mentors, reaching out to experienced dietitians, even Jenny, like I feel like even just a few times we've talked, like you've taught Aaron and I so much. So I think, listening to the people who have done it and know what they're doing will help a lot. So
yes. And reaching out to that and then realizing, you have to put in those hours of skill development and doing that and taking the initiative to do that. That's when I started. All of this is just really reminding me of like starting a business. It is like if you want to do it as your own thing. But like going into it, diving into it, you just have to do it. And I would go to the library. I took out books on how to write a business plan. I actually did, regarding like your SEO and email marketing, 2 other great resources for that are like the actual email marketing providers put out guides and resources for free that I just think is so valuable. I put that on, like there's a Facebook group called Unconventional RD, the Unconventional RD, and someone posted that, and I feel like I blew people's minds. Like you can just go to MailChimp and read all of their guides, or we use Active Campaign, like just to give you examples, but there's all the popular ones, and you can go to the resources. They want you to be good at those platforms, even like social media scheduling companies, like Later or whatever, like they want the users to be good at it. So they're going to give you like free guides and ebooks and audio things to make you better. So it's all out there. You just have to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I actually learned most of my email sequence stuff from the ConvertKit site itself. So it's funny you said that. Like I think I just Googled like email marketing 2022, and they had a bunch of articles, and I just like read through them all. And so I think I totally get where you're coming from. So HubSpot, Sprout, Social is another one. Like it's funny because it's all marketing on their end. So when someone searches like how to use it, they want to show up as like the authority on that topic. So then you go and buy their subscription, but you don't obviously have to buy it. Right.
It's just, that's definitely a pro tip right there. So then now we're kind of like, you're getting into it. You've had clients, you're getting better at it. You're teaching yourself all these things. So then what sparked this idea to start Flourish? And actually we haven't even introduced, so you can say who you started it with and tell me the story there.
Yeah. So Flourish Virtual Assistants. That is our virtual assistant company. My best friend, Erin, who could not be here today, she is the co-founder of Flourish. We started it together. She actually lives in my area. We went to undergraduate together. So she's one of my best friends. And so it kind of worked out. She had a marketing background. I kind of had a design and art background. And, through getting all this help, we were like, okay, we want to start getting paid for this. We know we have something here. We saw the demand was there. And so we were like, we knew that we could go out on our own and be like, hey, I'm looking for VA clients. But we were like, what kind of gives us a little bit, what is something people aren't doing? What gives us a little leg up, makes us seem credible, makes us seem like an authority in the space. So we're like, why don't we kind of make it an actual business? So like, let's give it a name. Let's do it together under, a title, an LLC, instead of just going out on our own. Let's try kind of make it a company and see where it takes us. And so we literally went out, spent, I think like $50 on an LLC, got our LLC, and really from there just started advertising ourselves. We were like, hey, we're a VA company. At first, for our first few clients, we were definitely honest with them that, hey, we're very new at this. And that's a tip in its own. If you're new, don't be afraid to tell people, hey, I'm new, I'm just starting out. You would be surprised how many people are like, yeah, I'm willing to work with you. I want to teach you. We can grow together. So just a little throw that in there. Don't be afraid to just be honest about that. We definitely were with our first few clients. And then from there, we just ended up, growing it from there. But that's kind of how we started. I think we just one day were like, let's just do it. We wanted a job that we could do during our senior year in our internship that would really get us good DECA's experience, that would help get us into internships and make us some money on the side. Because I think dietetic students know it can be hard to find jobs to do on the side when we have such a demanding schedule. It's really hard to work those part-time jobs, but being a virtual assistant, luckily you can do whenever throughout the day in your own time. So we were like, okay, this kind of seems like the perfect fit. And so I think that's really what, drove us that extra step to kind of just get started and jump into it. So
that's so fun. Yeah. To do it with someone, and especially like a friend. Again, the parallels here are just driving me crazy because I started All Access with an RD2BE bestie, Katie Proctor at the time. And we didn't go to the same school, but we met through the Academy's like student forum back in 2008. And then, we were like, let's do this. Let's make it legit. And I do think that was really smart on your part to have that perception, have that good marketing and branding to, especially because your services are related to marketing and branding, and you want it to show that you can do that for your clients. So that is really, really smart. And so then your team has grown, as I mentioned, like in the intro, you have a team now, I think of 7 people. And so you've kind of made it more like an agency in a sense. So you're scaling it beyond just what you two can do. So tell me kind of how that's grown and how you're trying to help the VA community.
Yeah. So as we were doing it, we found out that there's really a lack of resources out there for VAs, especially connecting VAs with clients. Erin and I found that was just one of our fortes. It was something we were good at. We were really good. We had built kind of a network and community of dietitians through our volunteer work, through our internships we had done in the past. And so we knew we were really good at finding clients, at connecting with clients and landing those beginning interviews. And we had so many clients interested in Flourish, but we didn't have enough of us at the time. We just had to start almost turning people away. And so it got to the point where we were like, hey, instead of saying, no to people, why don't we just see about taking on some more assistants so we can give them some training. We can, show them the way. They'll work under us and we'll still find the clients, bring it to them and make more of a business, out of it, simply just because we really didn't want to start turning clients away. And then slowly, one person, we had our first Lauren, we had our first employee on, and she still with us. She did amazing. And after that, we were like, you know what, let's keep growing. We knew we were going to graduate in April. So we were like, let's hire a few more. And so back in the end of April, we ended up hiring, so that was 3 or 4 more people on. And now we're a team of 7, which is just so crazy to say. I honestly think we will continue to grow. That is what it's looking like over the summer. And so it's been amazing to be able to take on other people in the dietetics community. So everybody we work with, we're a women company. We're all women, which is amazing. And we're all dietitians, dietetic students, or dietetic interns. So I think that has been, with clients, that resonates really well because they want people that have that nutrition background. And so I think that made our company really special as well, is that we only hire on people that are already dietitians or are going through their schooling or internship as well. And so I think through hiring people and seeing how good of a job being a VA really is, I got really passionate about wanting to share it with other people because I saw the demand for it. Like I just saw there were so many RDs that need help. They were spreading themselves too thin. They really just needed that extra set of hands, even if they didn't know it either. Like I think a lot of RDs need VAs and they don't know it. And I always tell VAs that say, hey, Kat, like I'm having a hard time finding work. And I'm like, the work is out there. You just have to show them the value that you can bring to them and show them this is what I can do to help you. And this is why you need a VA. And I think that's kind of why we ended up creating a Facebook group called Virtual Assistants for Dietitians, not only to give resources to VAs, but also to show dietitians what VAs can do, what hiring one looks like, what are some services we can take off your plate and help you with. And so we kind of just noticed there was no Facebook groups out there. There was ones for RDs who write. There was like RDs, the unconventional RD, like there was all these RD groups, but there wasn't anything about virtual assisting. So when people search virtual assistants, like there was basically nothing out there specifically for nutrition students or dietitians. And so Aaron and I were like, well, let's put something out there. Let's see if there's any need. We just started the Facebook group. We started connecting with dietetic students and we just found, wow, like there's such a big platform of students and dietitians who want to become VAs and just don't know where to start. And so we were kind of glad that we got to kind of be that authority in the field. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. You were the first to try to solve that problem. You are solving that problem. And, it's like being a dietitian now for 13 years or something like that. I saw the shift to private practice operators or more entrepreneurial dietitians. And so it's like all makes sense, like how it's gone. So now you have more private practice or business operators, and then they're in business now for 1, 2, 3 years, or more, whatever it is. And then it's okay, now you need help because your business is growing and it's going well. And so now you need to have these VAs. And this feels like the next stage where we're getting dietitians to realize they need a team and to be able to grow beyond themselves. Even like your model around like an agency is so smart. If that's, and I know there's so many people, everyone has different goals or, style of business or what they want to do. If they want to start a business or even be a VA, like maybe you do just want to be a one-person show and like, that's great. But like, there's also this opportunity to, do something bigger with it if you wanted. And you're really showing that that's possible. And it's awesome to see. And then it's like, what's next? Like what's after? I'm always like, geez. So tell me, I guess kind of like a little bit of wrap up, and then I have one like final question, but tell me what is next and maybe tease a little bit of an announcement. I'm not very good at keeping secrets. You can tell my voice. I'm like, just say it already, Kat. Like,
okay. So yes, super exciting. We knew we wanted to help as many RD2Bs as we could, but we couldn't take them all on ourselves as Flourish. And so Jenny came to us. She saw we had something. She just saw it in us. And we decided to partner together on a course for VAs, for anyone who wants to become a VA, to learn how to start a VA business, to really learn what a VA is. It's going to be a comprehensive online course that Flourish and All Access Dietetics are partnering on. So excited to finally get that out.
Yay! Yay! The official podcast announcement. We'll tease it. It'll be like, you have to listen to this episode to hear this secret announcement. No, I'm so excited because really and kind of the reason for this and why it makes so much sense to bring it to future dietitians is, I really hear the struggles that dietetic students go through around all the things that they have to do, the money, the financial side of everything. And I try to give them ideas and ways to empower them to make that money or to make things work for them and do it in a way that's not going to be super stressful or, require like 2 hours of commutes every day. So this is just another option for people that are interested, and you're going to get that training and the knowledge that Kat and Aaron have really cultivated over however many, has it been a year yet? I don't even know, but you've done so much with it that they have just learned so much and they want to teach you. And they've already trained people on it. So they have all the tools and resources and kind of like this proven method to help you just feel really confident to be able to go out and make money and help dietitians and get great experience, all the great benefits we talked about. So I'm so excited to be able to launch that. We'll share more details around timing and everything like that later, but that is happening. It's a work in progress right now. yeah, we're super excited. So, so Kat, I guess I just have one more question for you, which I did not tell you ahead of time, but we like to end the episode, or I'm trying to end the episodes with kind of like, Dear Future Dietitian, you know, that's the name of the podcast, Dear Future Dietitian, ... And then some sort of advice or permission, or, you know, something that maybe like as a summary of what we just said, like that you can kind of share with them, like your note to a future dietitian. And you can start it, Dear Future Dietitian.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I would just say, dear future dietitian, don't be afraid to put yourself out there as a student. You have so much knowledge, even just as a student, even if it's your very first semester, you've learned so much. Put value and worth to yourself, and that you have what it takes to go down whatever path you want to go down, to jump right in. You don't have to be a dietitian. You don't have to be matched to an internship. You know, you are the worth that you put on yourself. And so I definitely would just say to know that about yourself going into it, and that it's never too early to start. So
love it. Yes. So great. Chills.
Okay, cool. I was like, that was so off the head too. So
no, I really love it. I think that's that is really the core. You got to the core of like what this is all about. And I think this is like, again, I have like ulterior motives and like the best intentions to help dietitians feel more confident, like help future dietitians feel more confident in themselves, in their skills, and what they're capable of doing. And like, this is a way to do that. Like when you learn these new skills and when you start to have these clients and you're making these connections, you just are more and more ready to take on your career and to be fulfilled by it and have success. And that's what we want. We want dietitians that are happy in their careers. We want them to feel confident. And it all starts, like I said, now as a future dietitian. Yes. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And I think that was really what drove our passion too, is through, you know, doing a mentorship program and through hiring employees. We just saw how much people enjoyed being a VA, how much opportunity was there, how when they just got a little bit of, you know, we held their hand a little bit, they got that little bit of guidance, and they were, you know, the confidence that it gives them. So I think, you know, through us, you know, putting this course out there and everything for everyone, hopefully that gives them the little boost of confidence they need to just get started and put themselves out there. So
amazing. Well, thank you so much. I'm very grateful that you guys went for it, you and Erin and your Flourish VA team. I think you're going to bring a lot of value to the All Access Dietetics community as well. So I'm very excited for that. Yes. And I really thank you for your time. This was super fun. And I wish you all the best, you know, as you keep going.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Jenny, for having us on here. It's really been a dream. So thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Dear Future Dietitian. I hope you got a lot out of it. And I also hope that you take action based on what you learned today. Now, if you have any questions at all, please reach out to us through our website, allaccessdietetics.com, or DM us on Instagram or TikTok. We are here to help you become a more confident registered dietitian to be and make this journey way less stressful for you. So reach out, don't be a stranger, and we hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day.